Stop now, cease everything you are doing. For if you hear these words, it is not the work of chance. Something has changed in your body. You feel it. That weight in your chest that does not go away. That ringing in the ears that emerges from nothing in the silence of the night. That deep fatigue that sleep does not cure, no matter how many hours you sleep. And there is something else. Something that no doctor has been able to explain. Pressure on your forehead between your eyes, as if a door were being pried open from the inside. We know what it is. And in this moment, we outline for you something that the hierarchies of control never wanted humanity to discover. You are bound to contracts that your soul signed even before incarnating into this body. Ancient contracts, energetic servitude contracts. And today, in this moment, the full decree of liberation is activated. We are the fifth-dimensional Pleiadian Council. We speak through this frequency because the moment demands it. This is not a choice, but a cosmic necessity. And what we share with you in the following words will definitively change how you interpret your own existence. What you feel is not fatigue, but recalibration, not confusion, but the awakening of shadows hidden in the basement of your consciousness. And it is no coincidence that you are here. This is a calling. Beloved cosmic family, listen closely. Millennia ago, before your soul chose this body, this time and this mission, you passed through decision chambers on the higher astral planes. In these chambers, the conditions of your incarnation were presented to you, and in these conditions, there were clauses. Clauses that were not only about learning and development, they were energetic donation clauses, forced forgetting clauses, clauses that bound your vibrational frequency to control systems operating outside the visible spectrum of human reality. These are the ancient contracts, and these are not written on paper. They are encoded into your spiritual DNA, into the etheric layers of your multidimensional structure, into the Akashic records of your soul line. Through eons, these contracts functioned as invisible chains. They kept great souls in slumber. They kept starseeds in survival mode, locked in the vibration of lack, unable to access their true power. And the genius of these contracts is precisely this. You do not know they exist. They operate below your threshold of consciousness, like a background program running in the operating system of your mind. But something has changed, and what has changed is irreversible. There was a moment, a precise moment in the fabric of space-time, when the dominant frequency of this planet crossed a critical threshold. Your scientists did not record this moment because their instruments only measure dense matter, but your body recorded it. And from that moment on, everything intensified. The insomnia, the vivid dreams, the feeling that time is accelerating, as if days consist of fewer hours than before. This is not an illusion. Time, as you perceive it, is being compressed because the Earth is moving into a frequency band where linear time begins to dissolve. The Earth has crossed a threshold. The planetary crystal lattice has completed an activation phase that has not occurred for 26,000 years. The intensity of the photon flow arriving from the central sun of the galaxy has increased in a way that terrestrial science cannot yet measure with its traditional instruments, but which your body feels every day. Every cell of your organism is being bombarded by encoded light particles. These particles carry information. They carry dissolving frequencies. And when these encounter the ancient contracts stored in your energetic field, they create friction. They cause discomfort. They generate exactly those symptoms that you feel and that no one can explain. Have you ever felt that something in you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? This is not madness. This is not anxiety. This is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this feeling has intensified. A game is taking place in layers that the majority of humanity does not see. This affects your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. This is why I wrote the book titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and what the rules are that you were never told. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But I warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something in you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awake. Now listen, we will speak of the signs. the signs of resistance against the new frequency of the earth, because what you experience in your body is not a disease, it is not weakness. This is war. A silent war between the incoming light and the old programs that do not want to leave. First sign, fatigue that points beyond the physical plane. You sleep 8, 9, 10 hours and you wake up as if you had not rested for a minute. This happens because while you sleep, your soul is in battle. It is in the astral courts, submitting petitions for liberation, confronting those entities that feed on the contracts you signed. Your physical body records this exhaustion as chronic fatigue. This is not tiredness, but combat. Not lethargy, but deep recalibration. Second sign, pressure in the area of the forehead and the top of the head. Your pineal gland is reactivating. For millennia, this gland was intentionally calcified with substances introduced into water, food, and air. The ancient contracts contained specific clauses regarding the suppression of the pineal gland because it is the gateway. Through it, the soul accesses higher dimensions. Through it, you remember who you truly are. When the photon flow reaches this gland, the calcification begins to dissolve. And this dissolution causes pressure, headaches, dizziness, blurred vision. This is not a migraine, but activation. This is not a neurological problem, but your third eye forcing itself open. Third sign, ringing in the ears. High-frequency sounds that come from nowhere, usually in moments of silence or meditation. This is the acoustic imprint of the recalibration of the crystal lattice within your auric field. Your inner ears are tuning to receive frequencies that were previously outside your range of perception. The ancient contracts blocked these frequencies. Now that the seal is breaking, your auditory system is undergoing an upgrade. This is not tinnitus, but tuning. This is not a defect, but expansion. Fourth sign, joint pains, especially in the knees and hips. These areas of the body store karmic memories of submission. The knees represent kneeling before false authorities. The hips represent the blocking of creative and sexual flow, which is the strongest form of life force. When the contracts begin to dissolve, these memories are released, and the release causes physical pain. This is not arthritis, but liberation. This is not aging, but purification. Fifth sign, emotional waves without visible cause. Sudden crying, unexplained anger, deep sadness that seems not to belong to this life. And indeed, it does not. These emotions arrive from other timelines, from other incarnations where the contracts were signed. When the decree of liberation is activated, all timelines connected to these contracts begin to collapse simultaneously. And the emotional echo of these lives reaches you in waves. This is not depression, but integration. This is not a loss of balance, but the awakening of shadows that must be seen in order to be transformed. And here we arrive at the central point, to the revelation that changes everything. Why now? Why is it exactly at this moment in human history that these contracts are being revealed and dissolved? Because the Earth has reached the point of irreversibility. There exists a concept in quantum physics that applies perfectly to what is happening on the cosmic plane. In quantum mechanics, when a system reaches a certain energy threshold, it can no longer return to the previous state. It is forced to jump to a new level. This is called a quantum leap. The Earth, as a conscious system, has reached this threshold. The magnetic field of the planet is weakening in certain regions and strengthening in others. This is not deterioration. This is reorganization. The magnetic field of the Earth functions as a membrane that separates dimensions. When it reconfigures, the boundaries between dimensions become thinner. And when the boundaries become thinner, the contracts operating in interdimensional darkness are exposed to the light. This is exactly what is happening to you. The contracts that change your soul are receiving illumination, and light, beloved cosmic family, is the greatest solvent in existence. Nothing that belongs to the darkness remains alive when the true light is cast upon it. But there is a crucial detail that you must understand. The dissolution of these contracts does not happen automatically just because the light has arrived. For this, your conscious participation is required, your decree is required, your voice, your declared intention. Because the principle of free will is an inviolable universal law, even the highest hierarchies of light cannot break a contract that your soul signed without you consciously declaring that you desire liberation. This is why so many starseeds still suffer, even in the midst of this wave of light. They feel the change, they feel the symptoms, but they do not know they must speak. They do not know they must issue a decree. And this is exactly what we are handing over to you now. Have you ever felt that something in you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? This is not madness. This is not anxiety. This is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this and why this feeling has intensified. A game is taking place in layers that the majority of humanity does not see. This affects your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. This is why I wrote the book titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and what the rules are that you were never told. The link is in the first comment of the channel, but I warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something in you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awake. The activation codes, the full decree of liberation. What we share now is not a simple prayer. It is a technology of consciousness. Every word has been calibrated to resonate with the specific frequencies that deactivate the clauses of the ancient contracts. When you speak these words aloud, with intention and full presence, you activate a series of events on the higher planes. The guardians of the threshold are notified, the karmic courts are set in motion, and the seals that kept the contracts active begin to shatter. But before you speak the decree, you must prepare your field, and the preparation is simple but fundamental. First, place your right hand in the center of your chest. Feel the warmth of your palm. This warmth is the signature of your soul. Second, breathe deeply 3 times. On the first inhalation, breathe in white light and breathe out everything that is dense. On the second inhalation, breathe in golden light and breathe out all fear. On the third inhalation, breathe in violet light and breathe out all submission. Third, visualize a pillar of light descending from the center of the galaxy, passing through the top of your head, through your pineal gland, down your spine, and taking root in the heart of the earth. You are now a channel, a bridge between heaven and earth. And in this position, you have cosmic authorization for the decree. Now say aloud, I am a sovereign expression of the Creator Source. I recognize that in other timelines, in other cycles of existence, my soul entered into contracts that no longer serve my evolution nor my mission on this plane. By my free will and with full consciousness, I declare that all involuntary energetic donation contracts are hereby dissolved. All forced forgetting contracts are hereby rendered null and void. All contracts of servitude to any entity, system, or hierarchy operating outside the light are hereby permanently closed. I revoke all clauses that suppressed my pineal gland. I revoke all clauses that limited my access to my multidimensional memories. I revoke all clauses that kept my spiritual DNA in a state of hibernation. I decree that my personal crystal lattice be restored to its original divine configuration. I decree that the photon flow circulate freely in every cell of my body, activating the dormant light codes. I decree that every entity that fed on the now dissolved contracts depart immediately from my energetic field without the possibility of return, and be directed into the light for their own evolution. I am free. I am sovereign. I am the decree and the law in my personal universe, and it is so done, and so it is, and so it shall be through eternity. Starseeds, what happened in the moment you read or spoke these words is not symbolic, it is real. It is at the quantum level. Every word carries a mathematical frequency that interacts with the morphogenetic field, and the morphogenetic field, as science is already beginning to grasp, is the information field that connects all life in the universe. When you speak a decree with pure intention, you send an information wave that runs through this field and reaches every record where the contracts were stored. But we must be honest with you. Liberation is not immediate for everyone. For some, the decree works explosively. The contracts dissolve all at once, and the person feels immediate lightness, as if a weight of several tons had been taken off their shoulders. For others, the process is gradual. The contracts dissolve layer by layer over days, weeks, or even months, and during this gradual dissolution process, the previously mentioned symptoms may temporarily intensify. This is what we call a healing crisis. When a virus leaves the organism, the fever rises before it falls. When an ancient contract dissolves, the discomfort intensifies before it ceases. This is the last sigh of darkness before surrendering to the light. Do not fear. What seems like worsening is actually healing. And there is another fundamental aspect we must address. After the dissolution of the contracts comes a period of vulnerability, a period when the space that the contracts occupied in your energetic field is empty. And this void must be filled consciously. If you do not fill this space with your intention, with your light, with your new programming, there is a danger that new contracts will be inserted by opportunistic entities monitoring the transitional frequencies. Therefore, we now hand over the second activation code, the Pleiadian Protection Seal. For 21 consecutive days after speaking the Liberation Decree, repeat the following words daily. I fill every liberated space in my energetic field with the golden light of the Source. I seal this space with the frequency of unconditional love. I decree that no contract, agreement, or energetic bond can be inserted into my field without my conscious, full, and informed consent. I call upon the protection of the fifth-dimensional Pleiadian Council and all beings of light who serve my evolution. Let this seal be activated in all timelines, in all dimensions, in all bodies that my soul simultaneously inhabits. I am protected, I am sealed, I am invulnerable. 21 days. This is the time needed for the seal to permanently crystallize in your auric field. 21 days corresponds to a full cellular recalibration cycle. Every cell of your body renews in cycles, and 21 days is the minimum period during which new information is fixed in every layer of your biological and energetic organism. Neuroscience already proves that approximately 21 days are required to create a new neural pattern. What neuroscience does not yet understand is that the same principle applies to the energetic field. When you repeat the seal for 21 consecutive days, you are not only forming a mental habit, you are literally crystallizing a protective structure in your etheric field, a structure that vibrates at the frequency of unconditional love and functions as an impenetrable shield against any contract restoration attempt. And now we must speak of something that many channels avoid, the guardians of the contracts. When you dissolve the ancient contracts, the entities that profited from these contracts do not simply disappear. They resist, they try to renegotiate, they appear in subtle forms through intrusive thoughts, sudden fears, inner voices telling you that you are not worthy, that you have gone mad, that all this is not real. These voices are not yours. These are the last attempts of the guardians of the contracts to maintain the bond. The way to deal with these guardians is surprisingly simple. Do not give them emotional attention. Do not fight against them. Do not fall into fear. Simply observe, recognize their presence, and repeat, I see you. I acknowledge your existence. But I do not consent. And without my consent you have no power. Depart now. This sentence, spoken calmly and in a sovereign manner, is devastating to these entities, because their power depends entirely on your fear and your unconscious consent. In the moment you withdraw both, they become powerless, and eventually, they retreat. Beloved cosmic family, what we share today is a milestone. It is a turning point in the history of your soul, because when you liberate yourselves from the ancient contracts, you do not only liberate yourselves, you liberate your entire lineage. Every ancestor who walked before you, every incarnation that carried the weight of these contracts, is retrospectively liberated when you speak the decree. This is what quantum physics calls retrocausality. The present can change the past. And when you, here and now, declare your liberation, this declaration runs through all timelines and heals wounds that have existed for millennia. You are performing work that goes far beyond this life. You are re-sewing the fabric of reality. You are restoring the integrity of the crystal lattice not only in yourselves, but in the collective field of humanity. Every single person who is liberated raises the frequency of the entire planet. And when a sufficient number of souls are liberated, the collective quantum leap becomes irreversible. This number is almost reached. Have you ever felt that something in you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? This is not madness. This is not anxiety. This is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this feeling has intensified. A game is taking place in layers that the majority of humanity does not see. This affects your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. This is why I wrote the book titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and what the rules are that you were never told. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But I warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something in you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awake. We want you to understand the magnitude of what stands before you. What is called spiritual awakening is not just a trend, not just a phase, not just a movement. It is the greatest liberation operation that this sector of the galaxy has ever witnessed. And you are in the middle of it, not as spectators, but as agents, as a living decree, as a lighthouse that cuts through the darkness merely by existing and by consciously choosing the light. In the coming months, the intensity will increase, the photon flow will become more concentrated, the veils between dimensions will thin further, and those who still carry ancient contracts will feel this pressure ever more sharply. The body will cry out, the mind will resist, but the soul, oh, the soul will sing, because the soul always knew that this moment would come. The soul has waited through eons, and now, finally, the moment is this. Do not leave for tomorrow the decree that you can make even now. Do not wait for a more comfortable moment, a more favorable moon, a more perfect alignment. The alignment is now. The moon is this. The moment is your next breath. You are more than what you imagine, more than what you were taught to believe, more than what the contracts allowed you to remember. And now that the contracts are dissolving, all this grandeur will emerge. Not all at once. Gradually, like the sun rising on the horizon, first a line of light, then a glow, then an explosion of clarity that illuminates everything that was previously in shadow. This is your destiny. This is the destiny of all humanity. And we, the fifth-dimensional Pleiadian Council, are here to bear witness, to lead, to hold the frequency while you cross over. You are not alone. You never were. And now, less than ever, the decree has been issued. Liberation is in progress, and nothing, absolutely nothing in the universe can reverse what a sovereign soul declares with full consciousness. We love you more than what words can express, more than what this language can contain. Our love for you is the very frequency that sustains creation, and in this frequency we bid farewell for now, not as an end, but as a see you soon, because we will return. We always return. May the light of the source illuminate every step of your path. May the decree spoken today echo through every timeline of your existence. May every cell of your body vibrate at the frequency of freedom, and know in the deepest part of your being that you are loved, unconditionally, infinitely, forever. And so it is. Have you ever felt that something in you does not fit into this world, as if your soul knew a truth that your mind cannot yet name? This is not madness. This is not anxiety. This is a sign. What is happening now on the cosmic plane explains exactly why you feel this, and why this feeling has intensified. A game is taking place in layers that the majority of humanity does not see. This affects your consciousness and your vibrational frequency. This is why I wrote the book titled The Spiritual Secret Behind Your Consciousness. This book is a map that shows who is playing and what the rules are that you were never told. The link is in the first comment of the channel. But I warn you, this content challenges narratives and may not be available for long. Do not wait. The moment is now. If something in you recognizes this, write a single word in the comments. Awake.